Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Women's Maximum Fitness podcast. Today I have, Jhelsin, I don't even know how do you pronounce your last name?
Mabaga.
Mabaga, Jhelsin.
Yeah, it's Jhelsin Mabaga.
Yeah. So I have known you for quite some time. I actually got to meet you at the Arnold a couple of years ago, which was really nice. But let's just get started and we can kind of explain who you are. Your physique is fantastic. I know that you
Thank you. So is yours.
well, thanks, but completely different. And I know that everyone is going to be super interested to find out kind of about your training in that. But so I don't want to make this be your claim to fame, but people who follow you know that you are engaged to Derek Lunsford, who is
Yeah.
a 212 Olympian. And if people don't know now, they know. So when is your, do you guys have a date set for your wedding?
Yeah, so our wedding, he's actually here. Babe, when's our wedding?
Oh, nice.
He said whenever I say, but honestly, with the whole COVID, like all the regulations and everything, we've kind of postponed it because we were wanting to do it last year. But then the Olympia got moved, and then COVID regulations wasn't going to allow us to have as many people as we wanted for our wedding. So right now we are considering different dates. The Olympia just got moved again. So we want to make sure it's like a time that he's able to enjoy it and not be on prep. And then also like he's worried about like the next couple of years when he's competing. He doesn't want to be, prepping during our anniversary or any of that stuff. So we're kind of I don't know, playing it by ear right now. We're not too worried about it. We're not crazy in a rush. Like we've been together for 10 years. But I am going to be moving to Tampa officially in May because I graduate in May. So then we'll figure out a date soon, I'm sure.
What are you graduating with your degree and what's the goal with that?
So I'm currently getting my degree in Doctor of Physical Therapy. I've been going to school for 3.5 years for it now. So I got my undergrad in exercise science, and then I went on and went to grad school. So I'll be finished fully in May. Right now I'm doing my clinicals, and so it's been a pretty hectic, busy couple of months for me.
One of the things I love about your Instagram is that you post videos from Planet Fitness. So I know that you're like a Planet Fitness. I don't know if that's your regular gym, but I just want to, people to understand that, you can get a really good workout there. I mean, I train there at least 50% of the time when I'm training. So
yeah. No, so I'm from a small town in Indiana, so we don't have a lot of gyms available to us. And then I train so early in the morning. I get up around 4:30 a.m. and I get ready, have my pre-workout meal, and then I go and train. And Planet Fitness is a 3-minute drive away from me. So it's so convenient. And then it's really early in the morning. So for me, I feel safe going to Planet Fitness in the morning because it's just, there's workers there 24 hours, and then there's more people there. We have like a really awesome gym near us too that is more of like a bodybuilding atmosphere gym, but it's not staffed 24 hours, and I don't know who's coming in and who's coming out. And so I go there usually in the weekends or like in the afternoons. Or if Derek comes and visit, we go there and train. But when it comes to like training super early in the morning, for me, it's just more convenient for me to drive to Planet Fitness. It's like 3 minutes away. And they have all the machines that I need. The only thing they don't have is a free weight squat machine, which I have. Like, it's kind of hard because you feel like you're getting strong in a Smith machine, and then you go and do a free weight, and it's like you're struggling. So I need to get back on that and try to train more at the other gym. But with my schedule right now, it's just not feasible because I'm training super early, and then I have an hour drive to my clinical, which is an hour behind. So by the time I get back, I don't get back until like 8 p.m. And then by then I'm just like so tired because my clinical involves me dealing with like treating a lot of post-stroke patients. So it's a lot of hands-on. So my body is tired by then. I don't really want to work out. So if I'm gonna get a workout in, it's gonna be in the morning.
I think that's really smart because waiting until the end of the day, like you said, you wouldn't have the energy for it and you would just skip it. So
Yeah. And I have no motivation at the end of the day. I just want to crawl in my bed and go to sleep. And
yeah.
and sleep is a huge priority for me, especially if you're training hard and you want to grow muscle. So I try to get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So all I do is literally train, go to my clinical, and then sleep.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been studying a lot more about sleep, and Anna and I just got these like knockoff Fitbit watches off of Amazon, and it tracks your sleep, and you're supposed to have between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours of deep sleep every night.
Yeah.
And if I don't get 8 or 9 hours, I don't get that 2.5 hours of deep sleep. It's just like, and you can tell. I mean, I could tell, but to have the actual data to prove that you're like, oh, this is why I'm just dragging all day.
No, I'm obsessed with my sleep cycle. I have an Apple Watch. I used to have a Fitbit, and I have an Apple Watch that like tells me like how good my sleep is, and it's like 71% or like 80% is good. And then if I feel like super sluggish that day, I like look at like, oh my gosh, my sleep quality was only 64. But then I get super obsessed with a number, and then I feel like it kind of gets like it gets to my head because I'll be feeling good that day, and then I like look at my sleep score and it's like 70%, and I'm like, oh, I must be dragging, but I'm not. So sometimes like I look at that and sometimes I don't because I get too crazy with the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. It can I think that about a lot of the numbers people will track, like, I don't track like how many calories I'm burning or anything like that with workouts. I think that you can, with numbers in and numbers out, like you could get really obsessed with things if you tracked all the different, and a lot of it isn't accurate. And I don't know how accurate this is either, but it seems to kind of make sense so far. So I'm going to go with it.
Yeah. And it's good to kind of, be consistent with your sleep. So it's good to have numbers to look at
Yeah.
and to aim for. But you're right. Like I used to have a Fitbit and I would get obsessed with like how many calories I was burning per workout. And if I didn't get like my goal calorie, I would start doing like jump squats to get there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is right. So I stopped obsessing over that.
Right. Right. It's the same with the step count. A lot of people are tracking neat now with step counts and stuff too. And it's the same thing. Like I don't try, like I have a goal, which is really low of like 5,000 steps. And I almost always make that, but some days if you don't, like if I didn't, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm just going to have less activity today. I probably need a little bit of
Yeah.
rest even from, I don't like march in place to try to get my steps.
Yeah, no, see, that's what I was doing when I had that Fitbit. I would walk in circles around my apartment until I got 10,000 steps. And it got a little ridiculous. So I actually got rid of my Fitbit for Derek keeps flexing. Do you want
You
to
want to
be
show us
okay?
what the goods?
Okay. And yeah, no, I would get obsessed with it. And so I got rid of my Fitbit for 3 months. I just put it away while I was in quarantine. And because I'm like, there's no way. I was getting so upset because I'm like, I'm not hitting anything. And then so I got rid of it. And then I finally got the urge to like, I wanted to track my sleep again. I wanted to just track my activity because it just gives you a sense of like consistency. And I like that. So I got an Apple Watch. And what I really like about it is like I have this app called like, I forgot what it's called. It's like Sleep Timer or something. And then so you set an alarm on the app and then it wakes you up when you're not in REM sleep. So it gives you like this range of time. So if I set my alarm for like 5 a.m., it gives me like a 30-minute range from like, so 4:30 to 5 a.m. and then it'll start buzzing, like your hand will start vibrating when you're not in REM sleep. Because if you wake up, that's what they say, if you wake up during REM sleep, you feel more groggy.
Yes.
So like the app like tracks your like heart rate and your like movement in bed, and it wakes you up when you're not in REM sleep, so you wake up more refreshed. And I'm obsessed with that app, so that's what I've been using. I don't know if it works, but I feel refreshed every day.
That makes a lot of sense, because I was thinking about that too, how, I mean, even, you know, when you get a lot of deep sleep, you wake up and you can like remember you had a lot of dreams, because that's when the dreams happen, you know, but you don't want to wake up from a dream, because like you said, then you're waking up right from your, like it scared you or something.
Yeah, no, it like, you just feel, I don't know, like you're not as refreshed as you do if you, like your body wakes up on its own in light sleep. So I just Googled about it one day and I got really interested. So now I'm trying it out and I really like it.
That's awesome. When we're done, send me the link and I'll put it in the show notes in case somebody wants.
Yeah, like the app, it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can purchase like your sleep analysis on it, but I don't ever.
Yeah.
I just do the free stuff.
Like same with MyFitnessPal. I heard somebody one time on a thread and they were like talking about something that they purchased with it, and I was like, oh, I just use the free.
I don't ever purchase any like in-purchase stuff from the app. I thought about getting MyFitnessPal Premium because there's, I don't know, it's just like, I guess you can, I don't know, I just was looking at it and I'm like, maybe it'll be easier, but I eat the same thing over and over again. So I think you can just like make your own like ingredients and like type in your own macros and stuff like that if you wanted to. Because on MyFitnessPal, if you were trying to type, if you were trying to get like 240 grams of carbs, but they only, in MyFitnessPal, they only do it by percentage. So you wouldn't be able to hit it completely at 242 grams of carbs. It would be like at 230. And then, but if you get premium, then you can just type in your macros that you wanted. But I'm like, honestly, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Me right now.
I froze. No.
Like, yeah, did I freeze?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. We'll see if we can get you to come back. Come on. I'm gonna pause for a second. You're still like barely. Let's resume.
Am I back?
Yes, got you. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, that's super interesting, because I know like people have certain macro goals that they need to hit, and then you can only get a percentage, so it might be off or whatever. Oh, you're frozen again. All right. Oh, here we are. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I've met Derek several times. He's a goofball because he comes to he's came here to guest pose quite a few times for the Grand Rapids. So
oh yeah, he likes going over there.
Yeah, he's a goof. You guys are good together.
Yeah, he's funny, aren't you, babe? You're pretty funny.
Oh,
he's always funny, he says.
It's always funny. So let's talk a little bit about your so what is your athletic history, your athletic background, and oh, you know, I think people should know. She's like saying, people, how tall, Jhelsin, how tall are you?
I'm like 4'11". 5 feet on a good day. Okay, with my bun, I think I'm a little taller.
4'11".
But
yeah,
my driver's license says 5. Yeah.
Does it? Okay. Well, you know, you probably had maybe a little heel.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you competed before?
Yeah, so me and Derek actually competed our first show together.
Okay.
And I don't know what year. What year was that, babe? 2015. We did our Yeah, so we did our first show 2015, and I competed again 2016. So we won our first show together.
Okay.
And then and then he competed, and then my second show I got second. And then I went to junior nationals, and that was like a crazy weekend. A lot of stuff happened. And so I got second call out to junior nationals, or was it third? It was third call out. Yeah, I got 11th at junior nationals.
Okay.
And I was competing in bikini at that time. Yeah. And then I decided to take like a year off from competing because I didn't know. I was just tired of it, and I didn't know if it was for me. And then Derek started competing, and he started aiming for that Olympia title. Well, trying to become pro, and then his dream has always been to go to the Olympia. And so during our first time in Vegas, I wanted to like kind of cut like with me as my own coach. And so I was cutting while he was prepping for was it for the Olympia babe or USA?
USA probably.
Yeah, so we went to Vegas for his him to compete in USA's, and so I decided to kind of prep myself and kind of hold myself accountable because I wanted to look lean and I wanted to look good for when we went to Vegas. And then so I decided to kind of prep myself, and I prepped into Vegas. And then Derek got his pro card. Then we went to Tampa, and then he went back to Vegas for the Olympia. But through all of that, I was kind of prepping and I was coaching myself. And then I actually signed up for a show for after all of that. And then I competed and I won that show. And then I won overall in that show. And then after that, I stopped competing because I wanted to go back to school to become a physical therapist. And so I went full on my physical therapy. And then now that physical therapy, like my school is almost done, I'm starting to really get this like fire inside of me to compete again. And so I've been training pretty hard to like get my muscle back and then all of that. So it's been crazy.
So how long were you, okay, so let's go back to what's your athletic background, like stuff that you did when you were a kid? And have you always lived in Indiana?
So I'm originally from the Philippines, and I did move to Indiana when I was 9 years old. So I've been here in Indiana, and so we did a competition, like kick dancing. Have you seen a Macy's Day Parade where there's girls like dancing and kicking for like 5 minutes straight? That was, yeah. And I did that in high school. I just did kick dance, and then I ran track. So I was a sprinter.
Okay.
And that was as athletic as I got. So, I was also a high jumper actually in middle school. I was the shortest high jumper, but I had a lot of fun with that.
That's awesome. So, and you guys have been dating since you were like 14 or something, right? How long have you been dating?
So me and Derek have been together since I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
So 10 years actually, in 2 days. So March 8th will be our 10th year being together.
Is that how you met?
So we were babies. He was only
He was only what? You were babies. He was only what? Did you
He was only like 130 pounds when I met him.
So.
And then I told him, we went to we saw Jay Cutler one time, and I was like, I want you to look like him. And then after that, it was done. He just grew.
Yeah, like a weed.
Yeah.
So
I was actually feeding him at like 3 a.m. I was feeding him mass gainer shakes at 3 a.m. while he was sleeping. Like I would wake him up, and then I would have the shake ready. Right. And I'm like, babe, here, start drinking it.
That's love right there. You're like, I'm supporting your goal. So,
yeah.
Did you guys go to the same high school or no?
No, he went 20 minutes away. So we met through Facebook.
Okay.
I slid into his DM.
Facebook DMs.
Facebook DM, and I still got the guy.
He's like,
And
yeah.
yeah, he was cute. So, and I was looking through his senior pictures, and he had, those little baby arm muscles
Yeah.
when he was 132 pounds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he has the biggest arms I've ever seen. And so I messaged him on Facebook.
That's awesome.
And then from there, it's history. And then we went on a date, and then it went really well.
So that's funny because you were attracted to muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, not all girls are, So
yeah. Well, like, when you're a junior in high school, like all the guys around you are also scrawny looking, and like, and I'm just like, I don't want that.
you're
And then
real man.
yeah, and then you see Derek over here. He literally had like a 6-pack. You can see his triceps and his biceps, and he was flexing all the time in his photos. So
You're like,
he wasn't the normal
yeah.
Indiana guy that I was around. So
You're like, this guy's going places, and he did.
yeah, he was a wrestler too, so he was an athlete.
Yep. So you started going to the gym with him. That's how you kind of got into lifting then. Is that what happened? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because I said, I was doing kick dance in high school, so I was very active. Like we had practice every single day, and that's a lot of cardio, just like kicking the whole entire day. And I did competition, so on the weekends we would travel, and we actually made it to state. And so Derek was like, "Hey, you come." I'm like, I am I was so ignorant. I'm like, I was like, I'm not fat. I don't need to go to the gym. I'm like, I'm like, I feel good. I'm like, I don't need to. I'm already like skinny and everything. Cause I thought for some reason, like back then, I thought the only reason why people would ever go to the gym would be to lose weight. And I was actually kind of offended at the fact that he wanted me to go to the gym, because he's like, can you come to the gym? I was like, I don't need to lose weight.
Right.
Because back then I feel like the gym wasn't that like popular.
Yeah.
Only people who knew like the benefits of working out would go to the gym.
Yeah.
I was very ignorant, and so I was like, I went to the gym with him.
Sorry.
Wait, what was that?
I was gonna say you had your bodybuilders, and you have people that were doing like cardio for the most part,
Yeah, and I didn't know about and I didn't know about bodybuilding very much, like that was way before social media was huge. That was like 2011.
Okay.
So like 2010, 2011, we didn't really have Instagram, or Instagram wasn't that big. We still had MySpace.
Yeah.
So and that's what we were on, was MySpace. And I remember Derek and I talking about how our phones didn't even have social media, because we would go home and sit on our desktop and like message each other on Facebook. That's how we communicated, so I didn't know all the benefits that physical activity had besides like losing weight, and so he asked me to go with him, and I remember I was like, okay, I'll meet you there. And then he's working out, and I come up and I go to the gym, and I have a quesadilla from Taco Bell with me, and I have a blueberry flavored Mountain Dew, and a huge like, we call it like big swig, so like a huge container, and it was Mountain Dew, not even Mountain Dew Zero, it was straight up Mountain Dew with blueberry flavored syrup with it. And I'm like, okay, I'm here at the gym, and because in my head I'm like, okay, I have to eat first before I go and work out. So I'm over here eating quesadillas and a Mountain Dew, and I'm sitting on biking. And Derek's just like, what the heck did you bring?
Was he already doing like the bodybuilder diet? So
Um, Basically, I feel like Derek has been a bodybuilder his whole life. He has always eaten good, like lean meats. He's been eating,
Yeah.
I feel like he ate all the time, as opposed to me, I would eat like once or twice a day, and it would be like crappy food. And then I would have my dinner, or like two dinners, which would be my Filipino food, which is still a thing today. Like I still eat Filipino food all the time because my mom cooks it. But Derek has always been very like good with his food. And so I've learned a lot of like, how to diet and how to train from him. So
Yeah.
yes, but I'm giving you credit.
I remember last year I think it was last year at some point, you were on a big taco kick and you were like, I'm having tacos every day.
Yes, I still eat tacos. It's so good. I like to make like the foods that I like healthier. So,
Yeah.
you can have like I was eating like lean tacos, like 96 for lean beef
Mhm.
and with taco seasoning, and I had those tortillas that was like high fiber,
Yeah.
and I mean you would put like a little bit of cheese. I don't think it's like crazy bad. Like I you can still eat the food that you like without having to just eat chicken and rice all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, for those of you, I mean, the glutes. You've got the glutes. Like you have
I love the glue.
you have like several people's glutes. Like you don't just have yours. You have so, so how often, what does your training split look like? And obviously you got your lifestyle set up. So
Honestly, right now, people would probably think I'm a little crazy right now because my lower body days, I probably train way too much. People are like, oh my gosh, why do you train that much? But honestly, to me, I don't feel like when I do rest when my body feels like, tired, and I listen to it. I don't try to push it to where, I'm going to have an injury because, I've been going to school for physical therapy and we treat injuries like overuse injuries all the time. So I'm very careful. Yeah. But right now I'm training probably lower body like 4 times a week probably. And it's like consecutive. So it's like, I'll train quads, and then the next day I'll train hamstrings, and then the next day I will train like unilateral work. So I do a lot of lunges, and then the next day I'll train quads again, and then I'll train upper body. So that's probably why my upper body isn't growing, which is really bad.
Oh my gosh.
But that's what I like, and that's what I enjoy. And so you
don't get sore. So like, what does a workout? What does a workout look like? What's a quad workout look like?
Oh no, so I get really sore, but I think it's so I get really, really sore, and I feel that soreness coming on. But I think I've been doing it since I've been on clinical. So I think the fact that I'm moving the whole day is really helping like decrease that soreness. Yeah. And so I don't have that delayed onset muscle soreness for so long, especially the next day. I feel good the next day. That's why I keep training. And like I said, like hydration and like the food that you're eating, and then also like good quality sleep is huge. If I wasn't getting the amount of sleep I am, I definitely would not be training that much like lower body. Because when I was in grad school, I wasn't sleeping very much. So I would be studying late and then waking up super early. So I was only training lower body like twice a week because that's how much my body could handle it. So a quad workout right now for me would be, which I did like 2 days ago, I would do like leg extensions. So 20 reps, 2 times full warm up, and then 4 sets of quad extensions again to like failure. And my failure will be around like 10 to 12. And then sometimes if I feel like it, I'll do drop sets with those failure and then fail on that again. It just depends on how I feel. And then I'll go, so I've pre-exhausted my quads, and then I'll go and do hip thrusts. So, because sometimes if I do hip thrusts before I like pre-exhaust my quads, I'll feel it in my quads and not in my glutes as much. And then so I'll do my hip thrust, and then I'll do warm-up sets, and I'll start doing pyramids with my hip thrust. So I'll do like start off with like a 25 and then warm up with that and then just keep adding weight until like I fail on another weight and then I drop it all down. And so it's just like burning and it hurts so bad, but it feels so good at the same time. And then
let me interrupt 1 second. I love that you said that you pre-exhaust the muscle that you are not trying to use for the second exercise, because I think sometimes people think of that as like like you'll pre-exhaust a muscle in order to feel it working. And I think that, a lot of the research is showing it's just the opposite. If you pre-exhaust a muscle, it's not going to activate when you're actually trying to work it in the next exercise. So there's proof right there. It's very interesting. So
yeah, I mean, you're kind of helping with like the quads really help with like hip flexion.
Yeah.
So by pre-exhausting your hip flexion, you're able to like be able to activate your quads more, which is going to do hip extension. So by doing that, I'm not feeling it in my quads as much, and I'm really activating my glutes a lot more. And then after that, I'll do some and so leg press is amazing for that because I can have a good support on my back and I can still go heavy on that. So I really like doing that. And then usually after leg press, I try to do calves, but it just hurts. So it's really bad. But
yeah. No, I was saying I agree.
And I usually will do hack squats if I can.
Yeah, but Planet Fitness.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was saying Planet Fitness doesn't have a hack squat, but also, usually by the end of a leg workout, like, you're supposed to do calves, but yeah, usually by that point I'm tired and I don't want to do them either. So
yeah, I'm so tired because I'll try to do before I do leg press, I'll usually do squats. So I'll do squats and I've been trying to get pretty strong because I need to do better at that. It gets so hard for me because I do not like it when I'm lifting weight and I feel like my core is just blowing out. Like I like to really control my breathing when I'm doing like squats. So like that's a good thing about when I do hip thrusts before squats is I'm really like activating my like core and like pelvic floor. So if you're doing a lot of like posterior tilts when you're doing hip thrusts, you're really activating that core. So when you go straight into that squat, then you already activate that core, you already know, and you're supposed to do a posterior pelvic tilt. So that way you're not hurting your back. So like, and then when I try to squat really heavy, I feel like my core is just not being engaged and I'm not controlling it very well. And then I'm just like, once that goes away, once my form goes away, I really try not to go any heavier than that because I'm not trying to risk any injury. And I'm also, making sure I'm still having fun with if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I totally do. You kind of broke up in there, but I think it'll be fine. But what I understand too is that, because a lot of people can push more weight in a squat, but if you're not feeling it in the intended muscle, you're just fatiguing essentially joints and everything else at that point, trying to live. It's not like it's a full body workout, but you're really not bodybuilding anymore. You're not targeting the intended muscle. So going lighter so that you can have proper form, full range of motion, all those things, like it's just super smart. So it makes sense why you look like you do.
Oh, thanks.
Well, going heavier too is more exhausting, and then you wouldn't probably be able to train the next day because you would have that, that CNS fatigue rather than just muscle fatigue that seems to dissipate with your, walking around all day and stuff like that. So yeah. Really smart.
And it's like I attempt to go as heavy as I can. Like I always want to get like a PR,
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get better unless you're trying to push a little bit more weight. So it's not like I'm saying don't go heavy. I'm saying like don't go so heavy to where your form goes away, because then it's just no point. You're just trying to, I feel like, ego lift. That's not at that point.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point. I see people doing like 1 rep max and stuff like that too. I just think, gosh, that's so risky. Like, what's the point of doing, not a bodybuilder?
I mean, it just depends on it just depends on your goal. Keep the waist as small as possible and try to grow the lower body as much as possible. And I feel like if I'm overly straining my core and I'm not controlling it, then my waist is gonna get thicker, because it's gonna keep trying to maintain my form, and then I'm like blowing my stomach out when I'm trying to squat, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it totally makes sense. So do you think that you're gonna prep, you're gonna do a contest prep after you graduate? Is that kind of the goal next? Or do you think you'll just continue to train because you love it and call that be your goal? Okay, good.
I do love to train. It makes me feel so good. Just mentally, it's such a good like break from, I know, I'm sorry.
What?
I love to train just because it refills my social tank. So it's like a thing that I do for myself and by myself. So it's just my own little space, because I'm around people so much.
Yeah.
And then, but I do plan on competing soon. I'm trying to grow as much muscle as I can right now. I'm just looking for a good coach, basically. So Derek and I have been kind of like looking into different coaches they have to be super patient with me. Did that get through?
Yes. Yeah, it did. So looking for a coach right now to prep you. That isn't something that well, it's funny because it sounds like, I mean, you really know what you're doing, maybe more so with training, but not really quite sure what to do with contest prep. You would like to have somebody take it to the next level.
Yeah, just to have someone hold me accountable, because I feel like, to me, I feel like everyday lifestyle, I can do it myself. Like, I feel like everyone should, like hire a coach at least to like kind of understand how, food works and what works with your body. But then I feel like everyone should have the knowledge to be able to do it themselves. No one should be coached their whole entire life. No one should have a nutritionist their whole entire life. Like, that's up to the individual to do their own research and to learn, instead of having to depend on someone to just live your life. So that's what I've been striving to do this whole time, is just kind of do my own research, see what works for me on a regular basis. But I think for competition, I think people should always have like a coach, kind of like a second eye to look at your progress, because sometimes you can be biased. Like for me, if I'm dieting and I'm like, you know what, I can have that extra tablespoon of peanut butter because I can. Like, no one's going to tell me I can't, except Derek sometimes, who looks at me with judgeful eyes when I I'm just kidding. He doesn't.
You mean jealous? He's looking at you with jealous eyes.
Yes. But no, I think it's very important. If you have if you have a physique goal and you want to lose, and you want to gain, then I definitely think you should hire a coach, because it's going to keep you accountable. But if you want to just live your life.
Oh, wow.
And so,
all right. I had a positive. You said if you want to just live your life, and then afterwards I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, if you want to just like live a healthy like lifestyle, without competing or anything like that, I think that you should hire like a coach or somebody to at least learn a little bit more about food and how it works. And then after that, I think you should be able to take it over and kind of like do your own research, you know, have someone guide you at first, but then take it over, and then at least someone can give you a starting point. But other than that, I believe in that people are like very smart, and there's the internet and there's social media, so you can do your own research. And I know there's a lot of like bad information out there, but that's also that individual's responsibility to kind of learn how to differentiate the bad information and the good information. Yeah. So using just Instagram as your main source of nutrition, you know, place to learn nutrition from is not going to be a very good source. So, you know, there's Google Scholar, there's a lot of different sources that you can go through. There's a lot of books out there too, so you can do a lot of research on your own.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think finding a good coach is like you said, it's a great starting point, because you're going to get a lot of experience from somebody who knows what they're talking about in a short period of time. So you have like a good little foundation of, oh, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. And a good coach is going to explain things along the way as well, whether you're, you know, I have some clients that ask questions, and I know you work with a lot of people too, clients that ask questions. I love that. But I also explain things anyways, just so that, because I want them to learn. Like you said, it's not supposed to be a dependent relationship, especially for a lifestyle client. You're trying to get them to their goal, like growing wings and setting them free so that they're able to, you know, live how they want, the life that they're, the goal with the life that they're trying to live. So, yeah. So, oh my gosh, this was like so great. And it's just nice tapping your brain a little bit, because people don't always get to see all of your knowledge. I mean, it's pretty obvious that you know what you're doing, but you know, you have people out there too who have these physiques that are, I mean, genetics always plays into, you know, things as well. But your progress over the last, I can't believe it's been 10 years. You've been like kind of lifting for.
Yeah, so I've been not really seriously lifting for 10 years. But I've been seriously trying to build the bottom for at least like 6 years. And genetics definitely fight against me, because I don't think I was meant to be any bigger than like 100 pounds. So
what do you weigh right now? What did you weigh on stage too for your show?
So like my competition weight a long time ago was like 95 pounds. And now, I don't want to say in front of Derek, just kidding. I weigh like 120 right now, which is good, because it's the heaviest I've ever been. I've never pushed this much weight. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, it's nothing. But for me, I'm like 5 feet. So it's a huge like accomplishment for me, because for the longest time, I couldn't even break 100 pounds. I remember my first competition, they were like, my coaches were like, you're going to have to, you know, gain more weight. And I'm like, I don't know how, because all I've been doing is eating. And so I finally broke like 100 pounds, and then I started dieting at 105. And then I went on stage at like 95 pounds. So I was tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I didn't think that was, that's a significant amount of weight, you know what I mean? Especially for I'm 5 inches taller than you, and I weigh 30 pounds more than you. So that's like, you're solid.
Yeah, I'm just like, to me, I'm just like, wow, I've never seen that number before. And it actually makes me happy. And I mean, there's some days where I'm like very uncomfortable, because, you know, that's the most, but I've been pushing a lot of food lately, and I've been training really hard. And so I'm proud that, you know, I've gained that much and like still kept a pretty tight physique, I think. So
yeah. So
I think.
Yeah, no, totally. I would never. I mean, I'm impressed whenever I see your posts and stuff like that. So, and I've seen the progress happening over the last few years. So, I mean,
oh, thank you.
You're killing it too. And obviously with the, education in the education department as well. I think that's super cool. So, you're going to be able to diagnose Derek, with
Oh, I help him. Do you want me to show them you right now? Derek just loves the attention. So come here. Come here. You have to. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Just
Hey, what's up? How are
flex,
you?
just flex on him.
No, this is
Just
your
flex on
podcast.
him.
How you been?
You were just
Good.
flexing
How are
over
you?
there.
Good, good.
Are you
I got some dance moves. I gotta wait for the Olympia though.
okay, good. Are you planning on doing the GR? Is Mike having
The
you do
what?
the Grand Rapids show? Derek,
Are you planning on going to Grand Rapids?
Yes. So the thing is that the show is not confirmed yet, if I'm not mistaken, the date and the location. So when it is, then I should be coming up there, hopefully.
All right. All right.
I know I love everybody up there. It's so much fun, you know.
Yeah, it's a great,
You
it's
always
our
have a good
best
time.
show. It's our best show in Michigan. So look at that. Awesome.
Their best show in Michigan.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, we're actually about to go train now.
So I will.
He's so funny.
You guys are so. I saw you guys at the booth, at the Olympia booth, at the animal booth, and you had one of the massage guns. You were going around dabbing everybody with.
Yes, that's also, if you ask me like how I'm able to train lower body so much, it's because of that gun. I actually have one, and I fair gun my quads, my hamstrings, and my glutes probably like every other day.
Nice.
And I think it's amazing because, you know, when I have to drive an hour away, and if your quads get so tight and your glutes get so tight, your back just starts hurting.
Yeah.
And some people think it's like their lower back, but it's actually all those muscles, you know, attaching to the pelvis. And so if you loosen all those muscles up, your back feels a whole lot like better. So I actually use that gun all the time.
Nice. Nice. Well, I like I said, I appreciate this. You provided some really good information, and it's just nice to get a chance to talk to you. Do you have time to do like a 10-question rapid fire to finish up before you guys gotta go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It gives me anxiety when it's like rapid. Okay.
Well,
Okay, go. Like,
not a test. Boom.
It's like PTSD from grad school. Okay.
No, not like that. It's like, all right. So, country music or rock music? Deep breath. Country music. Oh yeah, Midwest. I'm like the only person in the Midwest that doesn't like country music.
Derek sings country music to me all the time. So country music.
We'll save that. He can do that on a different podcast. What is do you have a latest favorite read? A book you would recommend people?
No, because the only book I'm currently reading right now is like my musculoskeletal book because I'm studying for boards. I haven't read a good book in a hot minute. It's just been school books. So
okay. All right, no worries. All right, dogs or cats? Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have. Well, I had a golden retriever, but my parents kind of stole him from me because they fell in love with him. So we don't have a pet right now. But it's dogs, definitely, not cats. I don't like cats.
Okay. All right. Baby animals or baby humans? Oh, we froze.
Can you see me?
What's happening?
No, I said baby humans, and Derek is like frantically shaking his head over there. Does
that scare him, being a parent, scare him a little bit? You guys are young. Jhelsin, how old are you 25?
I know, even though I look like I'm 16, I am 27 years old.
27. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The aging Filipino.
I know. People get so surprised. I'm like, no, I'm 27, I promise.
Beautiful. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers.
Mm.
I always bring a pair of sneakers with me if I'm gonna wear heels because
Oh, I love
my feet. So I always change to sneakers.
Okay, that kind of dragged, like it kind of lost you. You always bring a pair of sneakers along if you have heels on. So
Yeah, every time I have to wear heels, I always bring a pair of sneakers because I can't stay in them for very long.
When I got married, I had my wedding shoes, and then I swapped them out for some Skechers afterwards that I wore during the reception.
That's probably what I will do because I can't handle heels.
Yeah, but yet bikini, that's heels.
I know, and it's terrible. It hurts so bad.
Those shoes are the worst too. They're just like they're the worst. They pinch your feet. They're slippery.
Yeah, and you have to keep practicing with them. But I guess, I mean, like you put them on, then you get on stage, and then you take them back off right when you get off stage.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the best thing about them.
All right. Hike a mountain or swim in an oasis?
Swimming in an oasis because I like to hike, but it just depends on the weather. So Derek and I actually went to the Philippines, and we basically did like a 7-hour hike through the canyons.
Yeah.
And we were able to swim at the same time too. So that was fun, except it was super dangerous.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember that trip that you guys took. It was like 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it was insane, but it was so much fun. So yeah, I definitely much rather be like relaxing and swimming so instead of hiking.
Burgers, pizza, sushi, or tacos?
Definitely sushi. Sushi's good, and I used to be obsessed with burgers, but not anymore. I think because I've eaten them so much.
Yeah.
So tacos.
Yeah.
I really like tacos.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, I was gonna legs, back, or shoulders. Your favorite to train, but it's obviously legs.
Yes, legs, and then back, and then shoulders.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You don't train chest very much. Get maybe some push. Yeah.
Yeah, not really. I add some in there like during shoulder day.
Yeah.
But it's not like a specific thing that I need to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, upper body day, I need to get better at it. I'm not as passionate about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've seen the progress, what's happening with your lower body. So, I mean, that's pretty motivating. Speaking of, okay, 3 people, one you admire, one who inspires you, and one who motivates you.
Oh, 3 people?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do they have to be in the fitness industry?
No.
Okay, because I'm like, oh, I can't really, like.
Yeah, like a lot of people say their mom.
Yeah, well, Derek would be one of them. And then, yes, my mom. And I don't really I think my whole family in general and just like all my friends definitely motivate me and inspire me because they're all working so hard right now and going through a lot of their own like struggles, and I see how they're able to make it through and they're able to stay positive. And honestly, some of the patients that I have, so I've seen a lot of stroke patients lately, and the fact that they're able to still be positive about their prognosis, and then they're able to still have like they're still able to make jokes and be happy. And I think that's very motivating to me, because I feel like my struggles and my troubles are very minute compared to a lot of theirs. So
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people say that, like a group of people or their group on social media or whatever motivates them. So that's great. Sounds like your job is very, you get a lot out of your job, rewarding.
It's definitely like, yeah, fulfilling and very rewarding because, like it's something that I like to go do and see because you see a lot of people's progress and it's not like fitness all the time. Like I feel like I'm good. I've been able to separate like what I like to do like on my off time, like my hobbies, and then what I like to do is like my passion is like obviously help people and then help people in other ways than just, them achieving their physique.
Yeah.
But like being able to see someone walk again after they've been in a wheelchair for like 2 months or like a month, or like they thought they'd never walk again, and then to see them walk away with like a cane or all that stuff. So this clinical has definitely been very fulfilling for me. So I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something really beautiful about healing versus just, not that it's vain to want to take care of your body and be healthy or aesthetic, but yeah, seeing healing. Look at that. That's awesome. It's just awesome. What is your favorite thing about social media?
So my favorite thing about social media would be the fact that I have so many social media friends that I've never
Yes.
message sometimes on social media. Like never met before,
That you cut out for a little bit there, but so many people that you haven't met before that you've made friends with.
Yeah, and like we'll talk on like my Instagram DMs and stuff like that, and they'll just update me on their life, and it's like, wait, I've never actually met you before, but I know what's actually going on in your life. So I think that's really cool that you can stay connected. And then I'm able to stay connected with my family in the Philippines, even though they're a whole 12 hours ahead. And before social media, we were like calling each other on the phone,
Yeah.
And then now we're able to see what they're doing. And so I watched them sing karaoke last night on live, and while they were on Facebook Live, they were singing karaoke. So it's social media has its good and it has its bad too. So yeah.
So your family, they were in Indiana and then they moved back to the Philippines, or did they not?
No, so the rest of like my family is in the Philippines. So my mom, my brother, and I all moved to the U.S. So like my aunts, my uncles, my grandpa are all still in the Philippines.
Okay. Your dad?
Yeah, so I have my stepdad, which is basically my dad. He's here in the U.S. too with me, but my real dad is in the Philippines.
Okay. All right. So, who would you like to see interviewed on the podcast? If you were to nominate somebody, who do you think is going to benefit other people to hear their story or learn from?
Oh, that's like you're putting me. God. My gosh. Okay, you know what? You know who I think would benefit to have on your podcast would be Derek's mom.
Oh, really? Oh, that would be,
Yes.
I know, I love her. I do. I love her.
Yeah, you know her? No, you know what? I think it's amazing because her transformation has been like crazy and incredible, and her dedication has been insane. Like she actually got up a lot earlier than me and Derek today and has been to the gym, has already done her cardio, and is over here cleaning, and she makes us our food and all that stuff. And so she's able to do all of that. And she just competed actually in her first figure competition. So I think she would be super fun to have on the podcast because I think a lot of women out there think that, you have to like compete all the time to have a good physique, or that, you have to be like a certain age to be able to compete and all of that. But I think she's really motivating.
It's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. All right.
And she has really good recipes too. So like when it comes to healthy food, so you can, but I don't know if she'll share it with you because she's secretive about that. Because her coach tells her not to share it.
Is Derek coaching her?
No, she has her own coach that she's been with for a really long time, and they work really well together. So yeah.
Oh, I think that would be super helpful. Whole different
Yeah.
dynamic and everything else.
Mhm.
Awesome. I'll reach out to, you can either connect me or Derek can connect me to her and see if she wants to do it. I think it's
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to you want to say, plug sponsors, anything else that you need to?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. I'm glad I got to share a little bit, even though my mind's half like scattered all the time because I have so much going on in it. So I hope things made sense.
No, you did great. And that's just the drive, right? The drive to want to be better, and you're killing it in your life. And
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm doing my clinicals and I'm studying for my boards, but while I'm studying for my boards, I am currently getting even though physical therapy, like our scope of practice is like, physical. Like we can be personal trainers, we can recommend nutrition, just all around, just anything to do with the human body. We're meant to be experts on. But so I'm studying for my boards, but I'm actually also at the same time trying to get my certification in NASM for personal training and nutrition. Even though we learn all of that in our school, but I just kind of wanted to have like a separate thing because like I said, I wanted to keep all of that separate. So I wanted to keep my job and then my passion, my job and then my hobbies and like my other passions separate. I don't want to put them together because I feel like once you start putting that together, you no longer have that. Like, I feel like if you have one bad experience with one thing, you'll have a bad experience with another thing. So I've been working on that too while I'm studying because they go together. So as I'm studying for my boards, I'm also studying for my certification. So I'm almost done with that. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because then you can, if you have some, you can step away from one and still have the other if you keep them separate. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot for being on. I appreciate it and the time. I know that we had tried to do it during the week, but like you said, you're like, it's going to be so late and you're going to be tired.
Yeah. And then last week I actually went to Dallas with Derek with his gas sponsors, and so we spent the weekend there. So that was really, really fun. And so I'm glad we were able to reschedule it for today.
Perfect. That was perfect. So yeah. So Jhelsin, where can they find you if people want to find you?
So my Instagram is just at Gelbell. So you can find me there, and then
right?
Yeah, Jhel and then Bell.
Okay.
And people think my middle name is Bell. It's not. I just think it rhymed really well. So that's why it's Gel Bell. Yeah.
No,
but yeah, so if anyone has any questions, they can just shoot me a DM on there. So
okay. Awesome. And you do coaching as well?
Yeah, so right now I do very limited just because my time is very limited. So I don't want to be unfair to people. So yeah, but I have like a 10-week program on there that's already like pre-written and it has videos on stuff. So it's like more of like a beginner's guide to kind of like working out.
Nice. All right, cool. All right. All right. Well, so you can find me on Instagram at buffcake22, at WomensMaximumFitness, and this will post probably next week sometime, and I'll send you all the links. But just to remember that healthy looks different on everybody. I hope you have a great day.
Oh, right. Bye.